Hello everyone. So today we'll discuss some more APIs related to the file handling, stat and fstat here. These two functions stat and fstat, we are using to retrieve the file attributes of a given file. The only difference between stat and fstat is that it is the first argument of the stat is the file path name, whereas the second fstat is the file descriptor. Only difference with respect to the fstat. Yes, the one thing you keep in mind, the purpose of using these two APIs is to retrieve the file attributes. We'll see shortly what are the file attributes. Shortly we'll discuss that one. Here, this we can observe stat or fstat. Stat contains the path name, and second one is the stat v. It is a pointer to a one structure. What I am discussing is that file attributes. It is pointing to the file attributes. Similarly, this is also in stat v. It is pointing to the a particular file attributes here. Next, here the first argument of description is that is nothing but file description. It is the corresponding file descriptor of the file what we are opened. Here we are taking the complete path name. Instead of taking the path name, I can directly take the file descriptor value here. The return value of both the function is 0 if they succeeded, and -1 if they fail, the error, and this error could indicate that the corresponding file does not exist here. This lstat function can also be used for link file. This is similar to the normal file. If I am using the link file, then I need to use the lstat here. What I am highlighting the point is that file attributes. That is second argument is pointing to the one structure that is named as stat. So here the first argument is that file system ID. It is represented by the device type. What do you mean by file system ID? You might be getting the question. Every file is uniquely identified by one ID. The file system, it is begin with the root directory. So that ID what I can call as the file system ID. If suppose next there is an inode number. What this inode number you will do it? It is also a unique number for a particular file, that is the file system itself. Okay. And next is contains the file type and permission. What is mean by file type is it is a regular file, directory file, p4 file, symbolic link file. Next, permission is nothing but read, write and execute permission for user, read, write, execute permission for group, read, write, execution permission for others. That one we are taking with respect to stmod. Next, nlink, hard link count. Just now I discussed the link API here. That is, whenever we are creating the one new link, at that time this count will be increased. That is nlink. UID, that is user ID, means owner of the file. And then group ID, every user is belonging to a one group. That group is uniquely identified by one ID. That ID what I can call as a group ID here. Next, our device is nothing but it contains the major and minor device number, and this field is only applicable if you are using the file type is device file. That is nothing but every device file is might be a block device or character device here. That file whenever you wanted to open, it is based on the two numbers, there is a major and minor device number. The major device number is an unique ID, that is what I can call as an indexing here, and minor device number is indicating what kind of the file you are opening and in which mode you are opening here, that is shows. Next, size, that is the file size in bytes, the total size of that particular file. Next, we are having the access time, nothing but when the last this file is accessed, read by some user. Next, m time, last modification time, nothing but if you are updated any contents of the file or any line is changed, any word is changed, at that time the time is changed, that time what I can call as a modification time. Next, last change time. This is with respect to the attribute change. Nothing but if I can change the user ID, if I change the file permission, yes, if I change the what I can call as the last access time, in that case this time is applicable here, C time. Next one is access API. The purpose of using this API is that checks the existence and the access permission of user to a named file, which means that just we wanted to check whenever I wanted to use a particular file, so I need to check whether that file is there or not first. If it is there, then is it having the read permission, or is it having the write permission, or is it having the execute permission? I need to check it. So for that purpose, I am using the one API, that is access API here. So this API returns the 0 on successful condition, and the failure condition it is returning the -1. The first argument is the path name of the file name. The second argument is the flag. This flag means one of the possible values. I will discuss shortly. And here the path name is nothing but where exactly that file is located. So with respect to that one, we are performing these operations here. Checks whether a named file exists. ROK means test for read permission. WOK test for write permission. Then XOK means test for execute permission here. The flag argument value to an access call is composed by a bitwise or in one of the both. That is nothing but I can use these flag values in multiple ways. Say for example, ROKWOK. I am checking that this file is whether this user.usp.txt is having the read permission and also write permission. Yes, this way only. Next, here one more example. If access, this is the path name of the file. I am checking this file is exist or not. That is by using F1. If it is failure, then -1. That is the file does not exist. Then assume that this file is exist. Then we are getting the file is exist. Okay. Then chmod, fchmod. Already we discussed in second module how to change the access permission of that particular file. Nothing but if I wanted to change read, write, execute permission for user category, group category and others, that is by using chmod command. So one point you remember, the implementation of the chmod command is by using chmod API here. Okay. So that's what the point here. Chmod and fchmod functions change the file access permission for owner, group and others, and as well as set the user ID and group ID and sticky flags. The process must have a effective user ID of either the super user or owner of the file. Mean whenever the process wants to change, so in that case the effective user ID of the process must match super user and owner of the file, anyone. Then only we are able to change the permission here. Then this API is containing the two arguments, that is the path name and flag. Path name is nothing but the where that file is located, and flag is nothing but what is the access permission we wanted to assign. fchmod is same as chmod, only difference is that here I am taking the complete path name, and here what I am taking is only the file description here. The path name argument of chmod is the path name of the file. That's what I have told. Then the file descriptor argument is nothing but is the file descriptor of a file here. Okay. The chmod function operates on specified file, whereas the chmod operates on the file that has already been opened. The difference is that directly we are accessing through file descriptor. Here we first open the file and retrieve the file descriptor. That is the difference. Next, what kind of the permission we can assign by using this chmod here? These are the different flag values we are using here. This indicate yes, I UID, that is setting the user ID on execution, setting the group ID, setting the sticky flag. Next one, read, write, execute by the user. So that's what, as I already told, for user category I am changing the read permission, here write permission, and here execute permission. If you are interested for group, then read permission for group, write permission for group, and execute permission for a group here. If you are interested for others, the same thing. That is, others will be read for others, write for others, and execute for others. This way we can change the permissions here. Then CHO, CHO, F, CHO, L, CHO, all the three APIs we are using to change the user ID and group ID. I mean, already one command we discussed, chown, in Unix command. Whenever you wanted to implement that command, we require these APIs. Okay. All three APIs are performing the same operation. Only difference with respect to chown and fchown is that here we are taking the complete path name, whereas here we are taking only corresponding file descriptor. Other than this, same. Here we are mentioning the user ID, and here we are mentioning the group ID. Here also we are mentioning the user ID, and here also we are mentioning the group ID. But this one LCHON we are using with respect to symbolic link files. Okay. The UID argument specifies the new user ID assigning to the file here. Whatever the file name we are considered for this file, we are assigning the new user ID and new group ID. Okay. There is one small program has been taken here with respect to this one. As per this example, minimum number of the arguments we required is 4 arguments. One is command to be executed, second one username, next one is file name. Okay. If the argument count is only 3, so in this case this statement is executed. Otherwise, suppose I am having the 4 arguments, that means command to be executed, the username and group name and file name. First, we need to convert the corresponding user ID into the password. Here using this one, argument vector of 1. Next, we are checking that one whether we are having the password is correct or not. If suppose right, then is a conditional operator. If it is true, this statement is executed. If it is false, then this statement is executed. Next, we are checking UID. If the both are -1, in that case it is an invalid username. Otherwise, the second statement is executed. We are iterating here. Stat argument I. So what is the I value? 2. So it is pointing to. Where it is pointing? Stat means already we are interested to list the file attributes. It is pointing to the one structure named as stat. Under that, we are accessing the user ID here. Next, if chown argument I, what is that? 2 here. What is the argument 2 is nothing but the file name. On that file name, we are assigning the user ID and group ID here. Okay. So one thing we keep in mind, this one is taking the at least 2 arguments. One is the username and another is the file name. Second argument are any subsequent multiple file names also we can consider. Utime function. So the purpose of using this utime function is to change the access time and modification time. So access time and modification time already we discussed with respect to the file attribute. It is having the 2 arguments. This is the path name. With respect to that path name, we are changing the timings, access time and modification time. These are 2 file names what I am indicating, access time and modification time. Just you can remember with respect to utime function is that if you wanted to change access time and modification time of that file, nothing but when that file is read, when that file has been modified, If I wanted to change, then I will use this uTime function here. Thank you.